Welcome to another edition of Business 101 Live with Emmanuel and Erica Michael. And we have a very special guest here today, Miss Kizzy Robertson, all the way from Houston, Texas. How you doing, Kizzy?
I'm great. Welcome to the A.
Exactly. And we have Dr. Erica Michael here. She hates when I call her that. She hates when I say the doctor. I always say it, though. I'm like, baby, we got to pay for them student loans, so we're going to use that doctor term.
I know that's right.
But Erica, this is Miss Kizzy. I know you had an opportunity to speak with her and talk to her.
So good to see you today.
So good to see you as well.
Good. So Miss Kizzy has come in town, Erica. She wants to work with us on taking her business from ideal implementation to funding. But we want to just do a quick interview with you, Kizzy, and just talk about, who you are, what you're about. I've been so inspired about your business and your mission and what you're doing. I think that the audience definitely needs to hear from you because you have a lot to give to the world.
Wow, thank you. You make me sound important.
You are important, ma'am. You are important. So tell us a little bit about you and your company.
Thank you. Okay, well, my company, I'm CEO and founder of A Touch of Love Personal Care and Consulting. And what I do, I go out and I recruit great talent of CNAs, RNs, LPNs, PCAs, caregivers to go into homes, rehab facilities, nursing homes, anywhere anyone needs help. I have a touch of love to extend to them. So I go out and recruit different schools on the block because for some reason, everyone look at CNAs and caregivers as, like the lowest of the medical field. But to me, they're the highest because they're the ones that set the tone to everything. They're the ones that send that love and get the atmosphere right for the doctors, the nurses, and anybody else. So I play a big part in making sure anyone that I send in anyone home, I had an opportunity to touch them and be a part of them as well before. So, yeah. What
inspired you to start A Touch of Love?
Well, after working for these big agencies, going out marketing and recruiting for them and getting these girls from schools, and I was on a different advisory boards of different CNA schools, and these girls started looking up to me because I had a story. I started out as a caregiver myself, CNA, 20 years of it.
Wow.
And I know how it feels to be the one to do all the work. And the RN is sitting there looking, and the doctor is sitting there looking, and you're lifting and you're pulling, and they're not trying to help you.
Oh, wow.
And we were always paid the least. So I worked for these big agencies as a marketer and a recruiter, and I would go out and get these big contracts for them where they were making $30 an hour, $25 to $30 an hour, but paying the CNAs $8 an hour. Wow. I wasn't okay with that. And I wanted to merge off and start my own agency and focus more on making sure that the CNAs were the highest paid CNAs that they could possibly be, you know, and give them more because I've been there, 20 years of it and doing it myself. I know how hard, it was nights I was crying on a cardiac special care floor because I had no help, and I was making $12 an hour. The nurses was making $30 and $40 an hour. And I was doing all of the work.
Oh, man,
yeah. And not only were, I was working hard, and they were sitting there, and they had their share of work that they had to do, too, and they went to school to do all of that. So I could, couldn't be a hater because they did have degrees. But they didn't have the passion that we had. We were the ones who had the most intimate conversations, the most intimate times with those patients, We're the ones that see them at their worst.
Right.
Wow.
So we're the ones that if we go into that room, whenever I went into one of my patients' rooms, I was like a light. True story, one night I went into a patient room and I was so gentle. He opened his eyes. He said, "Oh, I thought I would have died and went to heaven." Because it was just, and I'll never forget that because I was always so nice and I was always calm. The nurses, they come in, they They do their little thing. They don't even say hello. They don't even, stop to ask, do you need to go to the restroom or anything? But just to be, as a caregiver, you show care. And I truly believe in my heart that caregivers are very, very, very underrated.
Wow, that is so true.
And unappreciated. And so in this point, I was like, you know what? I'm going out here and I'm making these companies all this money, and the CNAs are still struggling.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to do something where I could focus on them. Did it help me get a lot of money? No. But it helped me give a lot of love. And as long as you have love and care and passion, and you are passionate about giving back to others and caring for others, those blessings always come. I don't be broke.
Yes.
Even when I'm broke, I'm not broke.
That is so important. I'm going to tell you just a brief story on how I got to Atlanta. We came here because my mom was sick. She was going through stage 4 breast cancer. And we came here. I didn't know anything about being a caregiver. I wish I'd had someone like you, but I was tired. A lot of times people are more focused on the individuals that have the ailment than the individual that's helping them. Now, it is important to focus on the individual that needs help, but their family goes through so much. So you made that statement about being a caregiver. They're one of the most important people in the world.
Yes.
So I want to ask you this question. Who is your ideal client?
My ideal client. All of them.
Well, is it the individuals? Just say, for example, I am in Philadelphia and my mom is here in Atlanta. And so by her being here, I'm not able to be close to her. So maybe she needs help with that. Or someone that's a new mom and they may need help with the baby. Or it could be somebody that is going through a sickness, an ailment that may need that extra help. So just from those examples, which would be the ideal person that you would like to work with?
Well, to touch my heart, I have a passion for the seniors. I love seniors because when I started out as a CNA, I was like 21 years old. And I started out in a nursing home. And I learned so much. I called it sitting at the feet of wisdom, because those seniors would tell me stories that to this day have skilled me over a whole lot of pain and mistakes. I still made some mistakes now. If I had to listen to some of them, a little harder. But my ideal patient is I love that because they've seen life and they've experienced so much. So seniors are my heart, but then I have to give it to the mommies now. Yeah. Because I know how hard it was for me as a mother, as a single mother, coming home with a new baby and had no one there. Right. I'm still hurting a little bit, not just physically hurting in my heart, hurting in my mind, and just taking so much on. And here's a new life that I have to give my all to. And I was breastfeeding. So that baby was stuck right up under me. But I'm a businesswoman. I needed to get back in the street. I needed to get back to my business. So you got me with that one, Erica. Because my heart goes out to the seniors first, I will say, because they're transitioning out of life. And then you got those babies who are just coming into life. So, yeah, I'm stuck in the middle with that
one. You like the transition?
Yes, I do. I love to see the beginning, and I love to see the end. I'm grateful that I started out as a CNA so young, because I got to see what the end looks like. I got to see the patients who were just mean and nobody came in the nursing homes to see them.
Right.
So it taught me you better take care of people and be good to people all your life, because this could be you. But then you get the babies who are innocent, and you get to mold them, and you get to give them love, and you get to touch them. And it's like being in a potter's hands when it's a new baby. But then when it's a senior who's transitioning out, it's so much wisdom that they're about to take to the grave. And I just try to take all of that. And that's what I teach my CNAs to do. I'm like, if you get an opportunity to get with you a senior who's willing to teach you, let that be a teachable moment because it's so much that you get to gain from that.
Right.
How did COVID, the pandemic, and everything shutting down, how did it affect your industry and your business?
First, excuse me. First, it didn't just affect my business; it affected my mind.
I know, right?
COVID in 2020 has really, that happening. It had an impact in so many ways, with the business being stopped, the world stopped. We wasn't able to get into the homes. We wasn't able to be a touch of love. Caregiving isn't just about going in and making sure someone eats or making sure someone is bathed. It's about making sure someone's mind is right, your heart is right, that you know that someone loves you. You have these seniors out here and you have people who don't have anybody. So my heart wasn't so broken more about not being able to run business, but not being able to give love.
Right.
And that affected us in so many ways because that's what my grounds are based upon, a touching and loving, and we wasn't able to do any of that. But financially, my business took a big hit because I couldn't put work. I couldn't provide work for those caregivers who always looked up to me. They knew I was going to go out there. I'm a hustler. So they knew I was going to go out there and get them the right client. The clients knew I was going to get them the right CNA, and I couldn't do any of that. And that kind of broke me.
Do you prefer to have a client as a corporation or a client as like one-offs, where I may call you to take care of my mom, or she may say, hey, can you take care of my father? Or do you prefer to have clients that are, corporations that have?
Like the big facilities.
Yeah.
I prefer to be one-on-one because, again, like I say, it's like sitting at the feet of wisdom. You learn something. You get to be more intimate. The more intimate you are, the more love you can give. If I have a big facility, which is good, and I want those big facilities.
Right.
Absolutely. But I want to focus more on the caregiving more than I want to focus on being so busy in business, So when you have the opportunity, that's what my passion is. That's what my heart is. I would have never did this if it wasn't for just the love. That's why it's about love with me.
A lot of people busy being busy in business.
Yeah.
And, in business, the first part of business is busy.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are busy being busy, and they take activity and productivity and they interchange them and they get them confused, where just because you're active, that doesn't mean you're being productive.
Yeah.
You're just moving and doing stuff. You ain't making no damn money. You just doing shit, but productivity is where it really lies, and in your industry, in your business, I've looked at that as always the people that just take care of elders who kids don't want to take care of them or can't, or the kids are out of town. Like you said earlier, I didn't realize that was something that could help the youth and the babies coming in, the mothers that are birthing children coming in, and the elders who are transitioning to a higher life or just transitioning from one phase to the next. Because your transition may just be, I don't want to stay by myself. I want to stay in a community where there are other elders my age and we can have like-minded conversations. It doesn't necessarily mean you're about to die. It just means that you are in a position where I want to be around different people, and certain things I used to be able to do, I can't do. And I definitely understand that now because I'm not but 40 some years old. And there are things right now that I can't do that I thought I could do. I can't. I went and played basketball with my son last week, and the goal seemed like it was so high. I remember dunking. I was like, man, it used to be so low, but now it seems like it's so high. So,
Right.
I said it to say there's certain things you can't do as you get older that you may need a little bit more assistance and help with. Right. And so where's your vision and your goal when you talk about your company and your business and the people that you work with, the people that you work for? What is your next step? What is your vision? How do you see yourself growing in this industry?
I see myself reaching one, and may each one I reach one. I've made money. Money doesn't make me happy. Money solve problems. Don't get me wrong, and it buy me a nice weave sometimes. But, but money doesn't make me happy. as much as being able to fill in a gap. And that's why I extend that hand. I see myself as someone who solve problems. I just want to solve a problem. And if
Okay.
I can get and create and recruit enough individuals to want to solve problems, I win.
Hey,
Yes.
that's the true entrepreneur, though. Entrepreneurs are problem solvers, you know. I know I cut you off, Erica, but entrepreneurs are problem solvers. You know, these are the people who solve the problems for the world.
Yeah.
You know, you made a statement earlier. You said, they know I'm going to go out and hustle. I'm a hustler. I can go out and hustle, make things happen. And that hustler mentality is like that entrepreneur's mindset that you got to have when it comes time to work things out.
Right.
Because it's like you said, it's not easy all the time as an entrepreneur. You know, we got hit outside of getting hit with COVID. You have so many other challenges that you face as a business owner that you don't realize before you get started. It's like, whoa, I didn't know it was about all that. You know, so
I've become a counselor.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was everything,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it was different from me working for someone because I could go work for them, get a paycheck, and go home.
Right.
I couldn't stop, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I could never turn off because now I gave them. I always had an open door, so now you know, Miss Kizzy, Miss Kizzy, Miss Kizzy, you
Right.
know, the door is open. Then you kind of start thinking, I should have said that door is closed at a certain time, you
Right.
know. But you know, I'm a leader. That's my calling, and sometimes, you know, that is hard. That is a hard crown to wear. Sometimes
It
you
is
know?
very, very, very hard. And I understand that with a lot of people that you mentor that are your mentees, you become a second mom to them.
Yes.
And balancement is something that you really have to exercise within that. And it's something that I had to learn how to do within myself too, because I am an entrepreneur. My husband and I own several businesses, and we have to be wife and husband, and we have to be mom and dad as well too. So I have a question for you within balancement. How do you balance being a mom and an entrepreneur at the same time?
Mac Allen 12.
Okay.
No, seriously. I keep my heart clean. I don't take everything so much to heart anymore, and I give it all to God. I'm not very religious, but I'm very spiritual, and I know that it's someone higher than me that keeps me, because if 2020 didn't take me out, somebody got a little puppet string or something running me around to get things done. You know, I lost my mom when I was 15 years old. Dad never was around, you know, and I've been on my own so long, which I think it made me a little tougher. And I sometimes question, like, why I didn't have anybody? But I've always had God, and that's my balance. I have to give it to him because it's none of me. Because if it was me, I wouldn't be right here with you guys right now, because I would have really gave up a long time ago. And excuse me, so I know that I have an assignment as well as a calling. And with knowing that, I have to fulfill that. And that's what keeps me balanced in the Mac Allen 12. You know?
I love that answer, and that's
Yeah.
real. That is
That's
your
real.
real answer, and it's so relatable to me too, because I didn't have both parents in the home. It was either my mom or my dad, and I had brothers as well. So at one point, I was in the house with 5 men that were my brothers and my dad. So, you know, it did make me a bit tougher, but it gave me the resilience
Yeah.
and the tenacity to stick through and be that mentor for others that need me.
I knew I liked you for something. I'm a one only girl too,
Yeah.
with all boys, and it was like, how you getting them scars on your knees? I've been punching them boys. I had to punch and run, you know.
right.
So I definitely can relate to that, and you know, it gave us something different. It made us strong. You know, when I see you, I see a reflection. You know, definitely a connection between you and I when it comes to that. You know, it's just spiritually, you make me leap, you know, and it's deeper than I can really even say. But I thank you.
Wow,
I
I
really-
am
I
truly
thank you.
honored. I'm
I
truly
thank
honored.
you.
You know, in order to be a great teacher, you have to be a great listener. And each client and student that I have, I come in to learn from them because I need to learn how to give you what you need. And everyone is different. It's not a cookie cutter formula to say, hey, this is your business and this is what you need to do.
Right.
Yes, it's set on the beginning parts of your business, what you need to do, but every business is different. Every structure is different. And what may fit someone else's business may not fit yours. So we have been talking about some things, and I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I'm not sure to what extent Emmanuel knows about that, but what's next for you?
What's next? Ooh, if only I knew. But after going through all of this, 2020, and starting this business and working so hard to get this business started, had so many girls to follow me, so many people come to work for me, only for everything to stop. I know now, I've learned that it ain't no stopping. And the sky is the limit. And so next, I just plan on creating an atmosphere where I don't just have workers, but I create entrepreneurs.
Yes.
That's what's next for me. I don't want to run a big agency where caregivers come and just work and be my caregivers. I want to create a space for them to work for themselves, cut the middleman out, which will be cutting out me, which is the pimp. I don't want to cut, you know. But I want to step more into my role of leadership
I love
and
it.
mentoring.
Yes.
You know, I prayed for a touch of love. God gave it to me. Blood, sweat, tears, no sleeping, emptied my bank account out to get it going. And once I got it, it was like, okay, I did that. It was a personal thing with myself of, I wanted to see this happen, and I did it. The state came in, I got 100 on my audit,
Wow.
permanent license, all of that. I have a multi-million-dollar business that I could run, you know? And the only thing I want to do now is create an atmosphere for the next caregiver, CNA, to become a CEO and teach them how to be that.
So you said something about mentor. Who has been your mentor in this industry, in this business as you were getting started? 'Cause I think mentors are very, very important.
Yeah, they are important. I wish I had one, you know? No. Honestly, I've had several people that I've listened to, mostly. I have to give props to Bishop Brunner, because that's been my pastor for a long, 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 long time. I have to give him that. You know, like I said, I'm very spiritual, not religious, you know, but I do know it is something in me that is higher than me that keeps me going. Because if it was up to me and it was up to these old legs, I'd be done, you know? So I didn't have anyone to personally go to as a mentor or someone. I didn't even have a mommy that I could go to and say, hey, I'm hurting in this area. What should I do? That's why I came to you guys. Now I know I need someone to push me, because it comes times where I would stop, you know, and not want to go even further with it, because it just became so heavy. And I had no one to say, no husband, no, you know, nobody, no grandmothers. I just buried, so many of my family members has died within the last year. Like every other month I've been coming to funerals, been funding funerals, you know, and everyone that I looked up to, they're all gone.
Wow.
You know? So even when wanting to continue to go on, not really having, you know, that person that I could just say, hey, I'm not okay today. I need you to pour into me this day. You know, I had to go to church. I had to listen to Bishop. I had to
Right.
listen to T.D.
Right.
Jakes.
Right.
If I had to say I had a mentor, those are my mentors. Miles Monroe, you know,
Okay.
Joyce Myers,
Okay.
Joel, you know, I've listened to them all. So at this point, I'm praying that you guys give me that, because I need a family and I do need some coaching.
Yes.
Because, you know, so many people look up to me. But if I am the head and I'm the highest that they look up to,
Right.
and I'm not looking up to anybody, I look up to God. But I also have some sisters and brothers here on earth, you know, that I
Absolutely.
also
We all
need help
need
with.
somebody to look up
Yes.
to, you know.
Yes.
My mentor always taught me, you know, anytime, even if you have problems, take your problems up, don't take them down.
Yes.
You know, so before we get out of here, we definitely appreciate you coming on the show today, allowing us to question you about where you are and where you're going. What is the one takeaway that you would have individuals who are in your industry, they're looking to get started, or maybe they already started, you know, what is one piece of advice you would give them as you lead the show today?
Pray. Pray hard.
Pray hard.
Pray hard. Don't stop.
Keep praying.
And keep praying. And when you stop praying, pray some more.
Cool.
But, you know, I would definitely tell them or advise them to get a mentor.
Great.
Get someone, get some coaching.
Yes.
Get some help. Don't try to do it on your own. I tried to do it on my own, and I did. Have done it. But here I am now, ready to redo it again, and not on my own. So I
know
would
that's right.
definitely advise them to seek counsel, coaching, and surround themselves around people who definitely want to see them win, and to let go. And don't hire none of your friends, families, nobody you know.
I know, right?
You
I
know.
right? Well, we definitely appreciate you,
Yeah.
Miss Kizzy, coming on. Erica, you got something you want to say before we get out of here?
I am truly honored and excited to work with you. And we're totally here for you. I just can't wait to get started. Our second consultation, I was so excited. I don't know what time it was, but I know it was quite after hours.
That's okay.
I had to send you a message. I'm like, oh, I'm thinking about this. Let's do this before the meeting. So,
And I got right on it.
yes, yes. So
Yes.
I got started before we got started.
And I'm
technically.
honored. So,
Great.
yes.
Great.
Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. And as always, with Business 101,
The results are real.
Yes.